Ken Trahan along with Lenny Vangilder. It's our First NBC Bank weekend preview brought to you by First NBC Bank with 35 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana and the Florida Panhandle. That's First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNOLA.com. March Madness underway. The LSU Tigers Thursday night taking on North Carolina State. The 8-9 matchup in Pittsburgh. And, Lenny, this could go either way. Common opponents and two teams that have kind of been up and down, so you just don't know what to expect.
You don't, and I guess the one thing that you go back and you hang your hat on with LSU is when the opposition has gotten better, they have played better. You look that, it was uncanny how they played against, how poorly they played, I should say, against the bottom 5 teams in the SEC, and how well they played against the teams that were in the top 9. And especially how they played against the teams that finished above them in the standings. They arguably gave Kentucky the best challenge they faced all year. They beat Arkansas. They beat Georgia. So, this is a team that, and beat Ole Miss twice, I should add, who, had an impressive win in the first 4 over BYU. So, this is a team that, you don't know what you're going to get from one night to the next, but the one consistent factor in their inconsistency is they seem to play better when the opposition is a little tougher, and you would think that might translate to a win on Thursday night.
So I got this figured out. They're consistently inconsistent and inconsistently consistent. We settle that. Yeah. Okay. Now, Ralston Turner, of course, former LSU star. Mark Gottfried, former Alabama coach. Johnny Jones, coach for Mark Gottfried. We got it. But ultimately it comes down to, can Jordan Mickey play like Jordan Mickey rather than the Jordan Mickey who's been hurt recently and hasn't played as well? And can LSU's guards hold up against North Carolina State's guards? We'll see. Kudos, by the way, to Louisiana Tech for winning in the NIT, to Louisiana Lafayette for winning in the CIT, and let's hope there's no more tournaments beyond the ones that already exist. There's too many to talk about already. All right, so we move from college basketball to the women's side. You got LSU and Tulane both in the field. Ironically, both were Final Four teams in terms of getting in. They had to sweat it out, but both did get in.
Yeah, Tulane was arguably the last team in the field. LSU, LSU really got a bad break in the draw. The bracket that the women are using this year, the top 4 seeds earn the right to play first and second rounds at home. The one exception to that is Louisville, because Louisville is hosting a men's opening weekend portion of the NCAA tournament, so they could not host. So Louisville had to go on the road. And where did they go? To South Florida, which means South Florida gets to play at home against LSU. So LSU's the one team in that 9, 10, 11, 12 range that is the lower seed that is playing a true road game. So that's a tough break for them. But still, I'll say this. I had a chance to see South Florida earlier this year, and, we'll get to Tulane in a minute, but LSU's playing a team from Tulane's conference. Tulane's playing a team from LSU's conference. So South Florida's very good. You may not know about them just on name recognition alone. They are very good. I would not be surprised if they end up playing Connecticut in the Elite Eight. That's how good they are.
Yep. And, of course, Tulane, as mentioned, getting in and for Lisa Stockton, and they've had a consistently good program, but to get to the NCAA again is important.
It is. They spent the last 4 years in the WNIT, and it's been a while since they've gotten in at large berth. When they've gotten in recent years, it's been as an automatic. So good for them to be able to get back to that. There was a while there early on in Lisa's coaching career where they were kind of like that last team in. They were always right there on the fence and managed to get in. And it's been a while since they've been able to do that. They've been on the other side of the fence. This year, they're back to the good side. But a tough matchup with a very good Mississippi State team. It's a 5 seed out of obviously a very deep Southeastern Conference.
And also in the NAIA, Loyola, a 2nd seed, one of the top teams in the country, and Suno, a 7 seed, both playing in Independence. So there's a real opportunity there for a local team to perhaps break through.
Yeah, exactly. And, of course, the Xavier men as well. And an interesting story there. The Xavier men are playing a Mid-America Christian out of Oklahoma City. And their coach, Willie Holly, who's a Louisiana native, has already announced he's retiring at the end of this year. They had just moved up to NAIA. He will be making his first and his last appearance in the NAIA National Tournament this week.
Wow. New Orleans Pelicans, of course, coming off of one of those white-knuckle jobs, ugly, but a win, and a win is a win over Milwaukee. Start the road trip Thursday night in Phoenix. 3-gamer. This is a tough one. Then it's Golden State. Then it's the Clippers. It's 3 games in 4 nights against 3 really good teams. Realistically, Lenny, they got to win one of these. If they win 2, it's a fantastic trip. They win 1, it's acceptable. If they don't win any, they're in trouble.
They put themselves really behind the 8 ball. The good news for the Pelicans this week had nothing to do with the Pelicans, and that's the news out of Oklahoma City that Serge Ibaka's out 4 to 6 weeks. He's getting his knee cleaned up, and that theoretically takes him out through the end of the regular season just about. So, that puts the Thunder down one more player, and you're getting every opportunity from OKC to be able to jump them and land in the 8th spot. So let's see. What's interesting with Golden State, keep this in mind. Pelicans make the playoffs. Okay, if they get in the 8th seed, guess who you're going to play in the first round? You're going to play Golden State. So that is a team that is, that's you want to see how you match up with them. They played them very well without Anthony Davis at home, lost in overtime, not so well when they played in Oakland.
And finally, high school sports, our First NBC Bank Prep Showcase, resuming with high school baseball and a couple of games coming at you on the North Shore. Rummel and St. Paul's Thursday night, live on SportsNOLA. And Friday, in addition to that, we have Destra and Hahnville, great rivalry renewed. That's live on SportsNOLA. Plus, these games will be shown taped late on WHNO.
Right. Yeah. Rummel St. Paul's Thursday night live on SportsNOLA. You can see it Friday at 5:30 on WHNO. Hahnville and home against Brother Martin. Hahnville, Destra, coming up later.
I'm already hitting that one.
Yeah, look, we've got a lot of teams and a lot of games coming your way over the course of the next 5 weeks. So we'll all get confused here in terms of who's on the air. But know this, you're going to see the best in high school baseball in Southeast Louisiana right here on SportsNOLA and at WHNO TV 20. So this Thursday and Friday, you will see some great action live right here at SportsNOLA.com.
Right. Make sure you do. We look forward to it. And that's your First NBC Bank weekend review, or preview, I should say, as we preview what's coming up. It's brought to you by First NBC Bank, and they have 35 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana and the Florida Panhandle. Check them out at First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNOLA.com. Lenny, thanks. Have a great weekend.
All right, we'll see you Monday.
And thanks to you as well. Have a great weekend, and God bless.